Welcome back to another episode of Mix and Match Radio. Today is the day. For the first time, we have a new person in the studio, a guest host of sorts. Mohammed, without further ado, please introduce the first guest host on Mix and Match Radio.
Okay, guys, so this person is someone who has been an avid listener and supporter of our podcast since day one. And I've known him for many years, and he's a great guy, huge movie buff, such as Cole and I. Like I said before, just endless support has been flooding from this man. So I would like to introduce y'all to Mr. Matthew Montelongo.
Hello.
As our first ever Mix and Match Radio guest host.
Heck yes. So
he will
excited.
be the standard that everyone else after him has to follow. Let it be known.
It's going to be a difficult one, man. I hope y'all are up to the task because... I mean, what do you got?
This guy's hard to top. I'm telling you that right now.
Well, first off, guys, thank you for having me. I am super excited to be here. You guys have no idea. Ever since Muhammad told me that you guys wanted me on, I just been counting days, man. I'm so excited to be here.
It's awesome, man. I'm super pumped to have you here. I mean, when we first announced Mix and Match was coming, you were immediately on. You're the freaking conductor of the Mix and Match train, pretty much. I mean, you were right out of the gate extremely supportive, and you have not stopped since then. So we have a huge level of appreciation for you and everything that you've done to help us so far. So absolutely, we're gonna have you on. What do you mean?
And yeah, I mean, if I'm being honest, man, as long as I can remember, whenever we were considering guest hosts, you were always someone that we for sure wanted to get on here.
Ooh,
Yeah, since the very beginning.
I'm not even kidding, man. Like, I'm not even lying whatsoever.
Well, thank you. I really, really do appreciate it.
I think you're the perfect person to have as our first guest.
Yeah, I honestly don't think we're gonna have we have a better person to pick for the first. But that being said, outside looking in, man, we've only talked about Mix and Match being Mix and Match. You're a fan. You've been here since the beginning.
Huge fan.
You've seen us grow. You've seen us fall. What do you got so far? What do you think?
In the very beginning, I wasn't expecting much from you guys because I really wasn't because it's three guys in the garage. But I think you guys started off really well. But afterwards, you guys just transcended. Like, honestly, it's just gotten so much better. Just like the flow that you guys have, just the chemistry that you guys have. I really enjoy listening to this podcast, and it really helps me out when I have to work. Really makes my day go faster. You guys are just kicking ass, bro. To be honest,
have you seen progression since day one with
a
us?
lot. I mean, a lot. And you guys tell me that there's some episodes you just personally don't like. And obviously,
Yeah.
I'm not there to see that behind the scenes. But I mean, I've liked all of them. I've enjoyed more than others. Some more than others. But for probably the past 10, I've really enjoyed.
Okay.
The past 10, and
I
I've listened to every single one.
Now, man.
Approaching 30, I think.
so.
Somewhere.
And there's some episodes too that I like so much that I'll even text Muhammad and tell him that you guys did an amazing job. So
it is nice to receive those messages.
Yeah, it's always good to know that we're not sucking terribly. You know.
Yeah.
I know we have our good days and we have our bad, but it's always awesome to hear positive feedback regardless of what it is.
I think it's really important to give you guys that feedback so you guys know that people are listening, like myself, and then you guys know that you guys are doing a good job, so you feel more motivated to keep doing what you're doing, and then some more, you know. So
yeah, I don't know. For me, just at least from my perspective, just hearing the opinions from the people who I personally know, means the most to me. Just because I know how authentic and genuine your feedback will be, whether it is positive or negative.
For sure.
So it's just nice to hear from someone who I know.
Yeah,
and more than just, it's nice to have someone who I know on this now. Like, it's crazy.
It's so crazy. So freaking crazy.
Just quickly, though, for the listeners, I feel that Cole and I should let people know just how we know Matt.
Okay.
So he's not just like a random guy who just
no.
stumbled upon this garage.
Yeah, well, I will go first as I have known him for the least amount of time. And I met Matt at work, which we've all been either lifeguarding or aquaticking at the NRH Rec Center, for those of you who don't know. But that being said, I met him there 3 years ago, just about, and he was my boss. And, you know, I'll be honest with you. Me and him didn't talk a whole lot the
No, we
first little bit that I knew him, but unfortunately, we only really got to know each other towards the end of his tenure
It
at.
always happens like that.
Yeah, you know.
Always freaking happens like that. Man.
And sometime later, you're in my garage. So,
I know.
You know.
It's so crazy.
It's just crazy how that works. But no, since Mix and Match started, I've gotten to know Matt a lot better, and me and him have been in thorough contact about whether or not we're discussing episode ideas or general feedback on it. And he is, like we previously said, he's been one of the number one supporters that we've had with this podcast thus far, and I have absolutely nothing bad to say about the man. So
Thank you.
that being said, Mohammed, you've known him for longer. Tell us some stuff.
I have. I've known Matt since my freshman year of high school. We both did track together. He was not aware that I did track because I did not. I partook in the field aspect of track and field. He was more of a. I think he did high jump. I did pole
jump.
vault.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
did do pole
I
vault.
didn't talk much back then, so just no one really. I was just there, and so I've told people this story countless times. But Matt and I, for our first encounter with each other, was me informing him that the concessions took credit card for snacks, and so that was basically our first encounter. I just told him that, and so he went and got his debit card and went to the concession stand. And then after that, he was just a guy who I would just yell his name across the hallways because he was one of the spirit leaders at school, and later I was as well. But yeah, he was just a guy who I yelled at, and then we never really got tight until I got the job at the rec center as well. And so I used him as my point of reference to get the job, and he came in clutch for me. And then our relationship just took off from there. And me and Matt have a fun little story to tell where we were guarding at 5 a.m. in the morning, and he was telling me that if I had told him like 3 years ago that we'd be working at a pool guarding old people at 5 in the morning, I would not believe you.
Yeah.
And I would not either, because I was like, I don't know. I just never would have assumed that you were someone who I would get close with, because you were literally just the guy who I yelled at across from the hallways.
That is very true.
Let alone get close with.
Yeah.
At a pool at 5 in the morning. That's
5 in the
that's
morning,
brotherhood right there.
Yeah, but no, like me and Matt talk regularly now. I mean, we both associate ourselves with our brown skin, so that's a nice little connection that we share with each other. But yeah, it's just he's one of my closest friends right now. So
Appreciate that. Thank you.
So, Matt, you're a movie buff.
I am.
This is no secret. You introduced Mohammed to the app Letterboxd, something that I have not myself yet joined.
You will get into, I promise.
So, with a person who considers themselves a cinephile and a person who has plenty of experience in the movie-going area, what are your favorites? What are your least favorites, whether it be comic book movies? I know those are a huge thing with you.
Yes.
Well, I know you said you were into sci-fi, so all those things being said, who are you as a moviegoer, you know?
Man. If something is appealing to me, I'll go see it. Like you said before, I'm just a sucker for superhero movies, comic book movies, because I read comic books religiously. So I will definitely go see any comic book. Sci-fi is my jam, because I just love aliens, monsters, technology, just the future itself. I mean, those are just my top two, go-to, if it's sci-fi, Matt's seeing that. This is Matt's seeing that movie. So those are my two.
You love the
ones.
monster movies, I can tell.
Oh, I love the monster movies.
Yeah.
What's your favorite, out of the sci-fi category, and then
My favorite monster movie or sci-fi monster
we'll go
movie?
monster movie,
I got
sci-fi
one.
movie, and then technology Terminator type movie.
I got one monster movie that's actually my favorite film of all time. That turns 12 years old today.
Oh wow,
Yeah,
that's convenient.
it's Cloverfield. Cloverfield is my favorite movie of all time.
That threw me. That was a curveball when I found that out, because I think I thought originally it was Jurassic Park was
No.
your favorite.
No,
That's a really high rating for Cloverfield.
I love Cloverfield. I love it so much.
It is a
and
great movie.
I love it so much, and this is really out of pocket to say, I want that to happen to me. I'm not joking. I want a monster to attack the city, because I strongly believe that I can film that thing and be alive.
Okay, you wouldn't get eaten at the last second.
Oh no,
You're
No.
confident that you can survive a monster attack on the city.
I am very confident. It's not like the thing's coming straight for me.
You don't know that.
Oh, I mean, I don't know that, but
You're enticing him right now. You're like, I'll attack your damn city.
that's my favorite monster movie. Just the Cloverfield monster itself is so interesting and
Yeah.
it's so like, where did it come from? It's just so mysterious and
It's very ambiguous.
it's such a great movie. That's my favorite movie of all time.
When did you see it? Did you see it when it came out, or have you?
I saw it when I didn't see it in theaters. I saw it when I was a kid, but as a dumbass as a kid, I thought it was real because it's found footage. Then I grew up as a teenager, like, oh, this isn't real. And then
Thought it actually happened.
I thought it actually happened when I was a kid because they showed some government stuff in the beginning, and that really sold it for me. Just the government stuff.
You saw one of the news scenes, and you were like, "Wow, I see CNN."
Yeah, yeah, it was crazy. No, SpongeBob. There was a little segment of SpongeBob, on one of the televisions in the movie, and I was like, "That's the same world. We live in the same world. That's happening right now."
They have SpongeBob.
Yeah,
We have SpongeBob.
yeah. So I was like, "Yeah, this is real." But I've learned now that it's not real. But unfortunately, but I hope it happens.
How many times would you say you've seen Cloverfield?
I'm not gonna say a ridiculous number, but I will say I've seen Cloverfield maybe. Okay, maybe it might be ridiculous. 26 times.
Wow.
Holy wow, that is
That would make sense why it's your number one.
I love that movie.
for a
Yeah.
not a ridiculous number. 26 is pretty ridiculous.
I
I wouldn't
that
say I've ever
movie.
seen any movie that many times, but
I just love that movie.
I understand.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think of anything that I've seen 26 times.
It's just so
I've seen Don John quite a few
oh, I
times.
love Don John.
It's one of my favorite movies, man.
It's a great movie.
Yeah, I think I've seen it at least like 6 times.
6 times.
Yeah,
The first Avengers I've probably seen 10 plus times, but that's up there still.
Now my number seems pretty high. I didn't think it was that high
26 is high, man. I respect
because
it.
it was made in 2008. So I mean,
yeah, you've had
years, yeah.
time.
I've had a lot of
Yeah.
time.
A little
so,
over 2 times a
So
year.
I maybe
so.
I guess
I've
26
I've
isn't
seen
as
it because I
absurd.
saw it last year, and
Okay.
I'm pretty sure I'm going to see it again this year. So because I have a new bigger TV,
Mhm.
so I'm definitely going to watch it on that.
Gotta watch it in every
Yeah,
format
christen it.
possible.
And I got it in 4K, so I'm definitely want to watch it in 4K.
How do they do that? Just out of curiosity, how do they refine movies shot in
I have-
mid 2000s or
I have no idea.
earlier to 4K?
I don't
I don't know
'Cause I've seen them do that
Some
before.
sort of reformatting.
I don't know. Maybe they just sharpen the image.
Probably, but then it does. Sometimes it doesn't come out that well.
Okay,
Yeah.
so what would you say is your favorite sci-fi movie?
I off the top of my head,
Like gun to your head situation.
I don't know if this is sci-fi, man, but I'm gonna say it, and you guys correct me if I'm wrong, okay?
Okay.
I Am Legend.
Okay. Yeah. That.
Is
I
it
can-
sci-fi?
There are science fiction elements, yeah.
Is it
Yeah.
sci-fi?
I-
Because there's
I,
there's a virus. It's. I don't know how to explain it. I really want to look up on IMDb right now and says if it says sci-fi at all.
I've always considered the movie as a thriller,
I consider it as a thriller, action
I-
adventure, a little bit of horror, but not that quite of horror. But
but I don't know if it dealt. See, it's just
It doesn't really talk much about.
it doesn't
the
delve
virus.
too deep into sci-fi.
Yeah.
I can't think of anything off the top of my head that's really just sci-fi.
That is a great movie.
I Am
though.
Legend's a great movie, though. I don't fault you for putting that as what would be your number
I Am
one.
Legend. Something about New York, man. New York and monsters.
It's
'Cause they
mainly
both have the
Will
same
Smith,
thing.
man. I just love Will Smith.
Yeah,
He's great in that movie. The ending is like
It's-
top tier sad.
yeah.
But apparently, there's an alternate ending where that was.
There is.
This is the second. This wasn't the original ending.
Okay.
I want to go. With.
I've seen there.
Yeah.
Like, you can find the alternative ending.
It is considered sci-fi on
Okay.
IMDb.
All right.
All right. So IMDb is letting you slide with this one.
Yes.
I can fully respect that opinion because I Am Legend's an incredible movie.
Love
and
that movie.
yeah, damn, that is tough though. I'm not a huge sci-fi guy myself.
Uh-huh.
I'm more of like I guess I would say like fantasy drama, like
So do you,
fantasy and drama with a superhero being on a much bigger spectrum because I don't even when I rank my top movies, I don't put superhero movies in them. Like I refuse to because I feel like that would just cloud a lot of the rest of my
there'd be a
judgment.
lot in there. Yeah.
And so I set those aside, but I want to say drama because I'm not a huge like pure action movie fan,
I like drama.
but I don't even like what all's considered drama at that point. It's like isn't most considered drama, I guess.
Yeah. A lot of drama. Just I don't know. Just really good acting.
Yeah, but drama is probably my favorite area. What about you? What do you got?
I really like thrillers.
Oh.
Thrillers or drama, I guess.
Mhm.
But I don't know. It's kind of hard because those two can definitely be one or the other. I
They
guess
can,
I don't
yeah.
know. They can be quite interchangeable. Like a drama can take thriller elements, or a thriller can have drama elements.
Yeah,
like Get Out, for example.
Oh
God, Get Out is such a good movie. Just yeah. But that being said, we are rolling into a very important time in film culture where everybody's coming together and competing, and not in the aspect of like an Avengers level threat, but an Oscars level threat. We have award season going in full swing right now. 2019 was the year for movies. We're talking about seriously some of the best.
It was a great year for movies, man.
Great year.
And with all that being said, you have incredible. I mean, it was the year of Avengers Endgame, which isn't even really in the conversation for like Best Picture or anything like that.
I mean, it's not even in my top 10.
And that being said, for a movie that big in the world, not even being in the top 10 says
and
a
me
lot.
being a huge superhero fan as well.
Yeah, it says a lot about 2019 for
shocking.
movies. So, going into award season, we got some controversy. As usual, the Oscars provide. We've got snubs. We've got some movies that may have received too many nominations. And we've got some movies that were too long to even consider watching. So, with that being said, without further ado, Matt, what are your hottest takes you've got for the Oscars? What are the do's, the don'ts, the yeses, the nos? What do we got here?
All right. I think you guys can all agree with me that Uncut Gems was hugely snubbed from the Oscars for Best Actor.
Best Actor?
Best Actor.
Yeah. I wouldn't disagree. I think that Uncut Gems was an incredible movie.
Incredible.
I think Sandler put on a essentially lifetime performance.
Yeah.
I agree.
I don't see a role that he honestly has that, in my opinion, beats the Uncut Gems. It doesn't surprise me, though. That is the one thing that if there was one thing I was expecting the Oscars to snub, it was Uncut Gems, if that makes sense.
The thing that kind of annoys me, too, is that it wasn't only Sandler's performance that was amazing. It's just the entire film itself was very well crafted.
Oh, yeah.
There was an episode where we talked about this movie, and I was a huge skeptic on it because, Adam Sandler has kind of not been the best actor, and he's just put on terrible comedy films in the past couple of years. Past many years, and so it's just very strange to see a film of this caliber and him being associated with it. And so it's very annoying that they did not even want to give it any, light in the Academy.
It's not Sandler-esque at all, And when you have a name as big as Adam Sandler, it's very hard to get audiences to like detach themselves from the actor,
Yeah.
Where it's like if Robert Downey Jr. plays in something, I feel like you're more associating him with being Iron Man or Robert.
Yeah.
You're looking at him as Robert Downey Jr., not really looking
Dr.
at him
Dolittle.
as the character. I'm not looking forward to that movie.
I'm not watching
It did
that.
terrible.
It's already come out. I didn't know.
It came out last week.
It's actually really bad.
You saw it?
No, I didn't need to.
Yeah.
I just
It's a
I
January.
just know it's
a
bad.
January film, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was expected.
No, but all that being said, I was very impressed with Uncut Gems and how Sandler just, draws you out of him being the typical like comedic relief guy.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you actually you're pretty anxious the entire movie as to what the hell he's doing.
Oh, dude, I was uncomfortable 90% of the time I was watching that movie.
Yeah.
And they were able to create that energy so well.
Yeah.
It was a great job by the directors. I'm surprised they weren't even nominated for a directing award.
Yeah, Safdie brothers, I don't know too much of the work they've done. Really, the only thing I know about the Safdie brothers is that they used to work with Casey Neistat. I know that. But,
Really?
Yeah. Apparently, like, way back in the day, the Safdie brothers used to work with Casey Neistat.
What the?
You
I
can
didn't know that.
you can find YouTube videos with the two of with the three of them at that point
Wow.
talking together. But I enjoyed Uncut Gems. I rated it probably in my top 3 or 4 films of the year last year.
Yeah, mine's like top 5.
And I would probably stick pretty through and through with that rating. To be fair, I didn't see every one of the best movies of the year. I didn't see Lighthouse, I didn't see Parasite, and I didn't see Jojo Rabbit.
That is terrible. I haven't seen JoJo, but those other two you should have seen, man.
Yeah,
Lighthouse is my number 1. Parasite's my number 2. Possibly switched, but
I never got around to either of them. It wasn't that I didn't want to see them. It's just that I
more
prioritized other movies.
what's more disappointing is that you did not see Little Women.
Little
that film
Women.
was so beautiful.
So beautiful.
I cried, and I was
Ooh.
able to. I was almost about to cry multiple times as well.
These are two guys who have you've
I
not
watched
read
it
the book.
alone too.
You've not read the book, right?
Nah.
Yeah, I watched it
want
alone
to.
too. I watched it alone too. Didn't read the book. These are two guys saying Little Women was amazing. Incredible movie.
Mix
Which
and
is
match
why
against sexism.
I really want Cersei. I really want Cersei Ronan. She was the leading actress in the film. I want her to win Best Actress, and I don't know who else could. if it's Scarlett Johansson, I'm gonna be very pissed off because as I
Best
have,
Asian actor in America.
yeah, I don't know. As
For-
I've
okay, I hope some.
think
I
about
hope
Ghost in the
people
Shell.
understand. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm just hoping that the rest of everybody understands. Basically, Scarlett Johansson got torn apart by a lot of people for
just because I
playing-
mean, as I have said, and y'all are gonna rag on me once again for this, I think Marriage Story was all right. It was a good film. I would not say it was phenomenal.
I just disagree so heavily.
If
with
you can
that.
see my face right now, if you guys are watching, come
you
on.
can see his face available
on.
on youtube.com/mix
can.
and match.
But
Probably. I
Man.
don't know if that's the exact link, if I'm being honest. I mean, okay, we can talk about this for a second.
Okay,
I
so
thought that Marriage Story was actually awesome.
it was phenomenal.
It was in my opinion, the
Uh-huh.
most moving performance of the year.
That's a great word to use too. It was very moving, very touching, very authentic, very real.
The entire story it tells is
Yeah.
the most unique and original, realistic take on the collapse of a marriage and I guess the way that divorces kind of shift and turn. You know, my
Okay,
favorite.
that aspect I agree. I thought you were saying it was the most unique and original story.
No,
Like,
it's
No,
not-
it
it's
is the
definitely not
most
unique.
I was
unique
about-
story ever.
It is not unique in any way.
I was about to be like, hell no.
It is
If it-
incredibly vanilla in exactly what
You want
it
unique?
is,
Watch
but
Lighthouse.
It's a unique
That's unique.
take on how it works as far as movie portrayal of divorce and
Yeah.
the collapse of a marriage. And I think my favorite part about that entire movie in general was how it showed the progression of the divorce. That it went from them not using lawyers to them getting lawyers involved to them to actually gunning for each other. And it was just,
Yeah.
it showed, I don't know. I really,
You felt for both of them.
yes, I loved, because the entire movie makes you feel bad for both sides because there's not really a bad guy in that movie. You know, it's
No,
more of,
there's not.
it's more of just you feel extremely bad for both
It's
sides.
a shitty situation.
I mean, because it is one of the biggest tragedies, I guess you could say, that couples have to go through. Because,
Yeah.
I mean, it was even said in the movie, one of the lawyers was saying, just how can two people who once loved each other so much just end up becoming these, I guess,
enemies,
abominations, you know?
essentially. Yeah.
They end up hating each other,
Yeah.
especially whenever you bring kids into the mix, too. That makes it even 10 times worse.
Yeah, because not only are you at that point fighting for your personal lives, you're fighting for your kids and vice versa. I mean,
For both parties, that's your kid. And so it's
Yeah.
just like, who's going to be the proprietor of that child most of the time? It's just, I mean, I would hope, like, I would never have to go through that in my life.
Same.
And I mean, I feel for those who have.
like I said, I just think that the movie itself is it's moving, and it makes me feel a way that I don't think any movie has ever really done, where I was just like, the entire movie was just very like emotionally impactful, I guess,
yeah.
if that makes sense.
I feel that.
And so I get what you're saying as far as I don't necessarily think that either Johansson nor Driver are going to win it, but I do certainly think they deserve the praise of at very least a nomination and maybe an award won at some show.
I'm okay if they're nominated. I'm totally fine if they're
Yeah.
nominated. They deserve to be nominated for that movie.
There were good performances, but I just don't think it was anything that amazing.
See, now that's where we disagree. Agree to disagree.
Just
I
because
suppose.
I'll be honest, I was not super emotionally impacted by this film. If a film impacts me, for example, Little Women, I will cry.
I don't understand. Little Women. I feel like Little Women and Marriage Story, they don't tell the same
No, they don't.
story.
They
but
don't. But I was just saying, I was invested in one more than the other.
okay.
Which is fine. I mean, that's
Okay.
personal perspective and everything. You know, I can't fault you for not liking a movie as much as I did.
Yeah.
I just, do you acknowledge that the performances were incredible?
I thought they were good.
Good is so like backhanded.
If I will say anything, I will acknowledge that Adam Driver has probably given one of the best performances of his career.
Okay. I think
that is agreeable.
okay.
We can
I think that one.
at least agree on that.
If you can at least agree on that, that's all I care about. Because he did.
Yeah.
ScarJo did fine.
I don't think Scarlett Johansson. I personally don't think she was anything like abnormally
No,
special in this
it was
movie.
good.
It was good. Just
It was
Also,
good,
just
but-
Adam Driver is one of my favorite actors right
Yeah.
now.
at the moment, same.
Great dude.
My favorite's Lakeith Stanfield, though. I love him, man. If you want to talk about versatile,
Uh-huh.
it's him.
It is him.
It's crazy.
He's in everything.
Yeah.
And he
has such
plays
range.
like completely different
Yeah.
characters.
Yeah.
Range is a great way to put it. He can play anything
Mhm.
Yeah.
ever, all the time, and so he's a good mark. But the big news around, we were discussing Best Actor, and I figure it's at least worth mentioning right now, is that Joaquin Phoenix, who played the Joker in Joker, has swept the awards so far for Best Actor. He gave an incredibly awesome speech 2 nights ago. 2 nights ago, right? It was last night?
If you're
It was
listening on
2 nights ago.
Tuesday, then 2 nights ago.
Yeah.
Okay, so the SAG Awards or the SAG Awards, one way or the other.
Screen Actors Guild.
That.
Yeah.
They he gave a great speech thanking all the other actors who were nominated for that award, and then he also thanked Heath Ledger, who is a former friend of his and is the most infamous Joker of all time, and that will probably stay the same forever. And Joker was nominated for 11 Oscars.
Yeah.
One of which is obviously Best Actor from Joaquin Phoenix, which is, in my opinion, almost a guaranteed shoo-in. Would you say that's the case?
Out of what he's going against, yeah.
Yeah. I don't... for those of you who don't know, he's going up against Antonio Banderas for Pain and Glory, Leonardo DiCaprio for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Adam Driver for Marriage Story, and then Jonathan Pryce and The Two Popes. Out of that competition, I think he takes it. I don't think it's really a second question.
Easy.
What do y'all think, and what are your thoughts on 11 nominations behind Joker? It's easily the most nominated film this Oscars, and it's a pretty significant margin.
I think it's the most nominated superhero film ever. Or
It is.
comic book film.
It is.
I personally believe that it's excessive because Joker was a good film. However, the standout was Joaquin.
Yeah.
Other than that, I thought the film did an all right job.
I think that the film was good. I think had the performance not been as incredible as it was, the film would be a forgettable film.
Okay.
In my
Yeah.
opinion.
I
can see
agree.
that. I can agree with that.
I don't think the plot was anything special. I think the performance made it incredibly like it reels you in. It's very encapturing. It gets you off ease. You're uneasy the entire film based off of the way his story is told by him.
Yeah.
I don't think that the direction of the film, nor do I think the plot of the film, really build anything other than exactly what you think it's going to be.
I mean,
it's
if
going to
you
be
strip it to its bare bones, it's an origin film.
well, it's an origin film, but it's also it's the basic story of like a somebody that, the downtrodden of society. You know?
Yeah, if anything,
And-
it could somewhat be a satire.
Yeah, I mean, he did make the freaking comment that
Yeah.
my life isn't a tragedy; it's a comedy. That the dialogue actually in that movie is pretty damn good too. I'll give you that. I think that the TV scene or whatever, the one with Murray,
Yeah.
I think that is a little corny, like at least on the edge of corny as far as the dialogue in that scene.
Yeah.
But
When he's daydreaming?
no, when he
When he's actually
that was
there.
actually an incredible scene.
Oh, yeah.
I loved that part when he's like acting out the Murray scene.
Yeah.
That was incredible. I think that there was like really not a fan of.
Okay.
I don't know. I think it's personally excessive, but we'll just have to wait to see how it performs. What other categories are y'all wanting specific people to win?
Oof, I got one.
Such as like best director, cinematography,
I got
etc.
one.
What's up?
For best supporting actress, Florence Pugh for Little Women.
I'm wanting her to win as well. She did phenomenal in that
She
film.
did absolutely perfect,
Yeah.
brilliant work.
I didn't see Little Women, and they keep on talking about
I'm
it. So
sorry, I'm
really
sorry.
out of
It's
the
your
I'm
loss,
sorry.
man. It's your loss.
I understand it's my loss, but man, I'm just out of the conversation on this one. Florence Pugh is in a lot of movies this year, right?
Yes.
So
Yeah.
That's Midsommar. She's
Fighting
in
with My
Black Widow.
Family.
She's in a billion different things.
Yes.
I'm looking forward to best director because that's kind of a very difficult area.
Give
Okay,
me
so let's talk that one.
Tarantino.
So what do you
So,
guys think?
We got Martin Scorsese for Irishman,
Uh-huh.
Todd Phillips for Joker, Sam Mendes.
Shawn Mendes.
Shawn
I keep
Mendes.
saying that. Sam Mendes for 1917, Tarantino for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
I am really, really supporting of Quentin Tarantino. I really am. I loved Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. It was my favorite movie of 2019.
Yeah.
And I would love to see Tarantino take it home. I don't think he deserves it, if I'm being honest.
It's just who you want to win.
It's who I would. That's
That's
my
totally fine.
That
preference.
was a great film.
That's my
Yeah.
preference. If I
Yeah.
had to pick who deserves it, I'm going to give it to 1917, even though I haven't
I could see
seen
I
that
could see
movie.
1917 winning as well.
Just because 1917 has just destroyed in reviews and
It was and it matched up to it, man.
I haven't seen it yet. I've literally have tried like 3 different times to go see it. I just haven't had a.
What
I
did you think
literally
about it,
have not
Matt?
had an opportunity.
Which one?
1917.
I liked 1917. I remember when you texted me in all caps, I had to go see this
Yeah.
movie. So I guess I didn't like it as much as you did. but
You've said that a few times thus far.
but it was a great film, a technical achievement.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you agree with that.
Yeah.
I'm not. I'll tell you right now, I'm not into war movies.
Mhm.
I'm just not. So right off the bat, it
You know,
was.
like
It's
War Horse?
no.
I've
It's
never
hard.
seen War
It's
That was when everybody started doing the whistle thing with their hands.
oh that thing.
Okay, I can't do it anymore. But you get my, you know, I don't know. We're all okay. When I was in middle school, everybody started doing the hand whistle thing with your
Yeah.
thumbs from War Horse. I got really good at that, and now I can't do it anymore, and I'm sad. But that being said,
I can understand that because I mean they can drag out and kind of be lengthy and
It's really good though.
Yeah.
they're
It's
very
just
straightforward. That's my biggest issue with war
Oh, yeah,
movies. It's all very.
yeah.
the plot of this
gun,
film. The plot of this film was get message.
That was the plot.
The
Yeah.
most simple way.
It has some nice like little cameos of big actors.
Yeah.
2 big actors,
Yeah.
which was really cool. But I mean, it was really good. But the cinematography will definitely be.
If
like,
it
the
does not win
standout.
cinematography, I don't know what.
I think it will.
happen. Yeah,
Because
it has
none,
to.
none other film has done what it's done. So
Yeah.
Which is always cool, especially to see movies that do things that are very I mean, Parasite, 1917 are honestly great examples of this. That movies that have broken barriers,
yeah,
and not only have done well in spite of like doing things that are untypical, but done well because of that. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, Parasite went and made a completely Korean movie. Like the movie is totally in Korean, and
And I did not know that when I sat down to watch it
yeah.
because I'd never watched a single trailer or anything.
I mean, the world's taken notice to that too, though. You know what I'm saying? Like it's good to see that a wider variety of films is being accepted by the Academy in this way. In 1917, obviously, I wouldn't put on the same scale as Parasite when it comes to doing different, but they shot the film in a way that just has never been done,
Yeah.
and that has been a huge reason of its success.
I mean, that's been a huge issue with the Academy in the past few years with just what they're not bringing light upon.
Yeah.
And so it's just a lot of things have been neglected. And it's nice to, like you said, it is nice to see things of this caliber being brought to light.
And successful as well, because
But still, even this year, I mean, people are complaining about what the Academy hasn't been doing right.
Uncut Gems.
Yeah.
Cut Jams.
I-
Adam Sandler.
The rest of the films on this list, Joker, I like I said, I think I've already stated how I feel about the Joker's direction. I don't think the movie did well because of the directing. The Irishman, it could be a fantastic movie. It could be the best movie of the year. I'm not
But
watching
I'm not
it.
gonna watch it. Yeah.
It is
I don't have that time, man.
3.5 hours. Okay. And that's the thing. I am so here for making longer movies, but longer means like 2.5 hours. 2.5 hours is a lengthy freaking movie.
Yeah.
And with the exception of a very small number of movies that can get in that 2.5 hour to 3 hour range, if you're an incredible director and you're telling a very compelling story, people may be a little bit more agreeable with that extremely lengthy film. The Irishman's not that.
For example, Endgame, people were okay with it being 3 hours because, I mean, it's a 3-hour nerd fest.
I wanted it to be longer.
Fan
No,
service.
I mean, yeah. No, I think
Fan service to the max, man.
I think I saw someone, they were like, make it 4 pussy.
I would have been fine with 6.
Yeah.
That-
Like, I took off 2 days of work to watch it. So
I was
it's just, I don't know. To be honest, completely honest, mob films are not that intriguing to
No.
me. I watched The
I love
Departed
'em.
recently.
I agree
I
with
thought it
you.
was
Love it.
great, but if I'm being honest, they just kind of drag on for me, and I lose
Yeah,
interest
bro.
very quickly.
The
The
unless I
Departed falls on my
stay
list of
focused.
all-time movies, if I'm being completely honest
Departed's
with you.
good. Like, I
Departed-
liked it.
I love that movie, man. And I don't have I love mob films, honestly, and Braden would probably hit you if he heard what you just said there.
That's okay. That's why he's in Florida.
we
Shout out Braden.
exiled Braden to Florida because Muhammad wanted to talk shit about mob films. No, but the Academy has obviously done some dicey things in the past, and I'm sure this year we'll leave a bunch of question marks. We'll probably touch base on who ends up winning some of these awards come time that the award show actually happens. But for now, that's just about all we have to say on the topic, because we have a whole new year of films we're about to step into.
Okay.
We have a bunch of very, I would say, pop culturally significant films coming up. We got Birds of Prey probably on the closest radar, which is Margot Robbie's Harley Quinn
Rated R.
taking the stage in a rated R DC movie, which I know I'm a fan of rated R comic book movies.
And they have Black Mask as the villain,
Yeah.
with Ewan McGregor being Black
I'm
Mask.
so excited.
So
for that,
excited.
Love me some Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
man. That'd be funny if he pulled out a lightsaber and he was just like,
Oh my
sup,
God.
bitches. Or, in other words, hello there.
Hello there.
I'm really excited for Birds of Prey. I think that DC's on the right direction finally, which is like something I haven't been able to say for a long time. They've restarted their production on The Flash. They've begun production on Aquaman 2, and then they've got.
I was looking forward to the Flash so badly, man.
I like Ezra Miller
Because
as the
whenever
Flash.
they brought that all the deadlines for the
Yeah.
movies
Oh
a
yeah.
couple of years ago,
I remember
was
that.
very excited. And then
A lot of
Justice League was
stuff.
gonna be in 2 parts and whatnot.
Yeah.
And then I remember recently, it was a couple months ago, someone was like, "Oh my God, Green Lantern comes out today."
There was a whole lot of stuff on that list that just did not come to fruition.
Oh yeah, but I mean
sucks.
they're picking up their pace. You know,
Yeah.
take as much time as you need, DC.
Please.
That is the one thing I want them to do, because I think that was their original mistake, is they were trying to keep up with Marvel, so they were
They
rushing everything. They were setting deadlines they couldn't meet, and then it just all collapsed.
And in the end, they ruined Superman Doomsday, the death of Superman, Batman Returns. They ruined a bunch of good storylines.
which should have, those are
Yeah.
like the best storylines too, like some of at least, and it just didn't go the way they wanted it to.
What are you looking forward to, Matt? 2020 films.
I mean, I'm an MCU guy. I'm looking forward to Black Widow, of course, Eternals,
Eternal's gonna be interesting.
Godzilla versus Kong, baby.
I've
I-
been waiting for that for a while.
I love me some monsters. Love me some monsters.
It'll be interesting. I really hope that what's his name? Loki. Somebody give me a name here.
Tom Hiddleston.
Tom Hiddleston. I hope he's in this movie. I hope he's in
He
Godzilla
died.
vs Kong. Did he die?
In Kong.
He died.
Skull Island,
No,
I think.
he didn't-
Oh,
he
didn't
didn't
I don't think he died in Kong.
Oh.
He didn't die, but keep in mind that movie was in like
the
uh,
80s.
yeah. So
Oh no, it was in Vietnam.
it was
era.
in Vietnam era.
The
So whatever
60s.
era that is,
He would be
somebody help me out.
very old.
Very old.
60s.
But
Time travel?
no, but Kong is reportedly going to have a beard, which sounds pretty freaking cool to me.
Okay,
But
wait.
isn't his entire face
wait.
a beard?
Okay, but I'm saying
He's
like
a furry animal.
his chin is gonna be a little bit longer with hair. If that makes any little
That
bit
seems
more
bi-
sense.
Biologically
apparently
inaccurate.
Apparently he's a baby, or
He was
kind
a
of
baby in
younger.
Kong. He was a baby in
He's
Kong
supposed
Skull
to be
Island.
bigger.
He's gonna be way bigger.
Quiet Place 2's coming out.
Can we talk about that for a second?
Yeah, I'm surprised they're even making a sequel.
It
I'm really
needs a
surprised
sequel.
they're making a sequel. I do not picture John Krasinski making that kind
I'm
of
also
move.
very happy they have Cillian Murphy in this. I
He's-
love that man.
He's such a creepy dude.
Yeah,
I see him.
not sure
I
I know
see
who that
him.
is.
I
he's
see
the
him
guy
being a
who
creepy
played
dude.
Scarecrow in Batman Begins.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
yeah. Quiet
Yeah.
Place 2. I'm really. That's probably in my top 50 of all time movies. Love that movie. Simply because John Krasinski.
Yeah,
You know, because he's John Krasinski. I mean, he's amazing dude, and he directed a movie. He did everything with that movie, and he's directing this one. He probably won't be in it
I mean,
No,
I
unless
I
there's a
find it-
flashback.
unless the flashbacks. That's what I'm saying. Probably. That's why I'm saying using the word probably.
or hear me out. Time travel.
Time travel, maybe.
The crazy thing too is that A Quiet Place is meant to be a love letter to his family.
Yes, it is crazy. I
And
did.
I mean,
I did.
that's
I
a
did
very
see that, and that's
Interesting love
that's,
letter.
That's really deep, though. I
It's
like.
like-
Yeah,
I
what
like
he
that
would, the
shit.
lengths he would go
Yeah,
through.
it's what a father would do for his family.
Yeah.
I love that
I
shit.
get
though.
that.
It's
Love
it's an
that.
awesome portrayal. The movie is like awesome. Like it's
God.
incredible.
Yes.
And the last scene is like a tearjerker, man.
Yeah.
When he's
Yeah.
like sitting there and he finally screams. You can like literally feel.
Oh yeah.
You can feel the like
It was amazing,
the terror behind that.
and it's a monster movie.
Yeah, that's true.
It's a monster movie that you barely actually see the monsters, but yeah.
But I love it. I think this
I
one
guess that is monster.
you'll see more of it this time in the second one.
I just want to know what they do now. Like, what's the?
Yeah, because the
Endgame.
monsters are known, and so it kind of takes away that sense of
No,
terror.
I think what it is they know how to defeat the monsters.
yeah.
So that's takes away the terror of it. But I think in this one, just my little theory that this one will probably be about the monsters are the humans.
Hmm.
So that could be an interesting take because why do you
Ah.
think this man is in this movie? He's creepy as hell. He
Yeah,
looks
that's a good-
creepy as hell.
That's a good point.
I really think that he's gonna
So you think they're-
do some crazy shit.
You think they're gonna
Yeah.
go Walking Dead with it, where it's
They're definitely gonna go Walking Dead with this.
okay? I see what you're saying.
I
Where
see
it's a villain on a villain.
It's
yeah.
kind of clear. It's clear. It really
Okay.
is.
I respect that. They should make a movie called The Screaming Place, where instead of instead of always being quiet and never being able to speak, you literally cannot stop screaming or you die.
Yeah.
Like, your only option of speaking is just full on yelling. Oh, Sonic. That's a good. Honestly, okay. Sorry, that was like terrible transition. But
We're looking at a computer screen, by the way, listeners on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. So now I have all the 2020 films pulled up right now.
Yeah.
yeah, so Sonic is actually coming out. This is the movie that the internet bullied Sony, right? Yeah, Sony. I don't know. That may not have been
I have
Sony.
no
No,
idea.
I don't think it was Sony.
The internet bullied whoever
Paramount.
runs Paramount. Okay, sure. The internet bullied Paramount into changing their character structure, which is
And I'm
Yeah,
glad we
because
did. I'm really
They
glad we
literally
did.
have decades of video games as to how to make the damn guy.
and it was so bad.
So bad.
Oh my god, the original version was terrible.
Looked like a rapey guy.
Yeah.
He did.
Yeah, you're not.
His body was weird, man.
It was disproportionate. They tried to make him look like a human.
Sonic the Predator.
the absolute worst kind of fast.
Oh my gosh.
Oh jeez. And then Jim Carrey's in this movie, which just makes
I
it
love
better.
Jim Carrey.
And I used to play Sonic all the time, man. We have GameCube games on the other side of this TV. There's probably like 4 of them that are Sonic games, but I'm looking forward to that. That'll be a really interesting story.
Me too.
I hope it stands as like a movie that an adult can enjoy because I won't lie, the trailer.
The newest one?
Yeah, well, no, the original one, which I don't know how much touch up. It looks very toy. Like I don't know how to like.
It's really there to sell toys.
No, it's
Kiddish.
it just doesn't look believable at all. It looks like it was
Oh,
made
yeah,
on. It looks like it was made on
It's a
Disney
video
Channel.
game, man. It's
Yeah,
a video game movie.
I
Yeah.
know.
Those don't tend to do well.
They don't do that well.
Yeah,
Except Mortal Kombat. Mortal Kombat's terrible, but I love that movie.
I've never seen Mortal Kombat the movie. I didn't even know there was a Mortal Kombat.
They're
This
making
is
a new one, so
Yeah.
hopefully this one will be better.
Okay, yeah.
I'm excited for Onward.
I'm pumped for
It's
Onward.
a new Pixar film. I love Pixar. They can do no wrong.
Have you seen the theory they have right now where Tom Holland is only in movies with Avengers?
Yeah.
Literally,
he
the
is.
next 6 movies
That's
he's
true.
in right now
He
is
is.
only with another Avenger. There's one he has with Liam Hemsworth. There's one he has with God.
He has one with Robert Downey Jr. and Doolittle.
Yeah, he's
He's a voice, yeah.
He is a voice, and he had one. He had one with Jeremy Renner. I don't know.
That is weird. I never thought about that.
Yeah,
he's literally only in movies with Avengers.
we
I mean,
must
Disney does
protect
love
him
him.
at all costs.
He's in Doolittle. He's in the current war with Benedict Cumberbatch.
Benedict Cumberbatch.
He's in the Heart of Sea with
Chris Hemsworth.
He's in Onward with Chris Evans. He is never.
Pratt.
Oh,
Wrong Chris.
What did I
Too
say?
many- too many
What did I
Chris's.
say this
Chris
time?
Evans.
Chris Evans. Yeah, just
so
can't
many,
handle
so
it.
many Chris's, man.
No, but with not Chris Evans, with Chris Pratt. But it seems like Tom Holland that Disney's like, look, you can try to get away, but
Bro, he's getting his chip.
Yeah,
I mean, honestly, after Disney let him go one time, I don't blame him for them
Yeah.
being.
they got to hold his hand, man.
I'm excited for this, though. I mean, Pixar, in my eyes, they can literally do no wrong. They're just I don't know, they're the biggest innovators on this planet.
Yeah,
That might be a bit aggressive, but I see what you're getting at.
I don't know, they're bigger than okay in the creative
I like that
aspect.
statement.
But yeah, I'm very interested in this because I like fantasy type shit, and so this
Like
is very
Dungeon
fantasy
like
oriented.
Dungeons and Dragons.
I really want to play D&D. I want to start playing
it
D&D.
gets me. This movie gives me that type of vibe.
Yeah, it reminds me of like Warcraft.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, I can
It
see that.
does.
Yeah, I mean the scene where the pants are trying to walk off the cliff.
Reminds me of Jimmy Neutron.
I just need to draw the attack of the pants. The pockets or teeth or something. Oh my gosh.
I love that you know exactly. Where
I
he was
just
going with
remember that. That was
That's
a very
awesome.
iconic episode for me.
What movies are y'all looking forward to the most this year?
This year, so I loved the first Wonder Woman. I'm not really looking forward that heavily to Black Widow, if I'm being honest with you, because
Yeah.
I think that movie's gonna be bad.
What? No, it's not gonna be bad. Don't say that. No, don't say that. It's gonna look.
They
so
have
good.
people skydiving and shooting guns.
That
No,
oh
come
my!
on. It's gonna be so good.
She jumps out
I'm
of a
excited for
plane without a
Taskmaster.
Parachute. Taskmaster, in my opinion, doesn't look that cool. I think
They could have made him look
way
better. I'm excited for what he's gonna or his role in the film.
People think it may be Clint.
Yeah, maybe.
They also think that it's a woman, so they're kind of on
It's
both.
that woman. That one woman.
They're on kind of both ends of the
Rachel
spectrum.
Weisz.
It might be her sister. I think that'd be cool if it
Mm-hmm.
just turned out to be her sister, which I would be such a Disney plot. Oh my god, that'd be the most Marvel thing ever if it just happened to be her.
Yeah.
I have one.
What?
Okay.
It's called Free Guy, with Ryan
Oh,
Reynolds.
yeah.
It's like he's what's it called?
A simulation.
Non-playable character, NBC,
Yeah.
and he's in a video game and he just decides to like not be an NPC anymore and does his own thing. It reminds me a lot of Ready Player One, which
Yeah,
I love.
sounds
Ready
like
Player
love
One.
Ready Player
It sounds like Westworld.
But I saw the trailer.
You should see the trailer, Cole.
It seems
It looks,
very interesting.
It looks really good. I think that if anything, out of the other ones that I've already talked about, that's another one that I'm really
Mhm.
excited for. And Ryan Reynolds did say that this was the most fun he had making a film.
Really?
He did say that, and
That's from Deadpool himself.
Me hearing that makes me feel very, very confident about seeing this movie.
Yeah.
Ryan Reynolds is awesome, man. That guy is such a clown. Everything that he says.
I'm between two films that I'm the most excited for.
Okay.
It's between Mulan and Eternals.
Ooh, I can't wait for Eternals.
Eternals mainly because I know nothing about them, but it has to do with the Celestials, and the Celestials are so damn interesting.
And the cast is stacked.
Yeah.
Dude, that is the most loaded cast that Marvel's had outside of an Avengers movie to
Right.
this
Yeah.
point.
So stacked.
And it's all characters we've never been introduced to before.
Yeah.
The
So
only
I want to know
problem
how they pull it off.
Well, the only problem I have with it is
What is it?
Okay, so here's the thing. The Eternals are Celestials, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, they are.
All the Celestials are dead.
They say that they're hiding on Earth. That's one of the plot synopsis.
I just really hope that they don't have to kill off all these people that they're introducing because that cast is incredible. And I
So
would
stacked.
love to see Richard Madden take a role as like a lead.
I'm sad that Kit Harington isn't in a more. Or I feel like Kit Harington deserves a solo film for whatever.
He's
he
a
is
cool
doing.
character.
Yeah, he's
The
Black
character
Knight.
that he's playing, he's a cool character. So
He's literally just playing Jon Snow.
He
That's-
really is. This is
like-
Marvel.
I still need to see Game of Thrones, man.
I think he's going to be in Marvel's future for a little bit.
I hope he is, and at least I think that it's cool that they're incorporating characters that are not characters, but I guess actors that I would not have seen taking roles like this on before, and they're spanning out into more of the comic world and less of the. I don't want to say a smaller scope.
Well, they're going more.
Cosmic.
Yeah, cosmic.
Yes, and Eternals is a huge.
my lead to
step
Nova.
in there,
Oh yeah,
dude.
Nova.
Oh, you're the Nova fan, aren't you?
I'm the Nova fan.
There we go. I
I
knew
am the
somebody
Nova
else here
fan.
had Nova love. I love Nova. I'm so excited for him.
That
because
movie is coming. It is coming.
Eventually.
They confirmed that there is going to be something.
Yeah.
It's going to be something.
They also confirmed a lot of stuff like Silver Surfer.
I'm
Dr.
excited for
Doom.
Silver Surfer. and
Like
Dr.
these are
Doom.
solo films that they're.
I hope they do a Doom solo
Dr.
film.
Doom deserves a solo film.
He does.
Dr. Doom's like one of my favorite villains overall.
He's
Yeah.
probably one of the greatest villains in Marvel's history. So
Yeah.
he deserves. If Venom gets his own movie and Morbius for God's sake,
Morbius is the most random thing they could have chosen, man.
but that's Sony. So
Yeah,
we
it's a
won't.
different
That's a
topic.
different universe.
beast.
Different.
It's
corner.
a different universe, but also the same universe, but also a different universe. I don't really understand how any of it's working because Vulture showed up in the trailer. And
I think they're only picking from just. They're just
They're trying to
Spider-Man
do
stuff.
Sinister Six.
They're
how does that work?
They're just.
How do you?
They're just in that little corner of the MCU where it's just Spider-Man stuff. Because Spider-Man has a lot of.
Is this just
characters.
multiverse things? Like, is this like?
No, I think it's just in a little corner that the Avengers will never ever touch. Only Spider-Man himself and his
Yeah.
whole cast of people.
I don't understand how the Sinister Six couldn't be an Avengers level threat though.
Because they only go after Spider-Man.
Mhm.
Always Spider-Man. It's like they that's all they want for some because they've all dealt with him.
Plot holes.
Yeah.
But yeah, along
Fuck it,
with
bring Vader into the universe.
along with that, second thing I'm looking forward to is Mulan, just because this
Okay.
is one of my favorite movies ever.
Yeah.
And not gonna lie, out of all the live action things from Disney, this seems like I'm actually going to enjoy it. They haven't
I'm
done
sighing.
anything good, man.
I'm sighing because I really, really enjoyed Aladdin and Muhammad did not.
I liked Will Smith.
Will Smith made that movie good and I still listen to the soundtrack, but I thought Naomi Scott did very well and
She was
the
a
oth-
good Jasmine.
The other guy that's named Matthew, I don't know his last name, but he played Aladdin. He did.
McConaughey.
He did.
Oh, his
he,
name's Mina.
he did okay. He did okay.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm sad that they
You
didn't
have
cast
3
me as
wishes.
Aladdin.
Yeah,
It's very
you would have been perfect as
quite
Aladdin.
rude of them.
You would have been real perfect as Aladdin.
Thank
I don't
you.
know. I don't know if
Strikes
you. I don't know if you would sing. I don't know how well you could sing.
No,
but
I would. I would
You would?
try.
You said the word vibrato earlier, so I do have my hopes.
Thank you.
I'm excited for Milan. It actually doesn't look horrible, which is that's my.
no,
I don't know why Mushu's not in it though.
That's why I'm not seeing it.
Yeah, you still gotta see it though, man.
I don't know, man. Eddie Murphy really had it for me.
He
in the
did
first
make the
one.
movie, or a decent part of the movie.
This on all you. This on all your cow. Like, come
Yeah.
on, man. That's not gonna be.
It
a
was
movie.
iconic, man.
I don't know. Ooh.
And the big one, we just scrolled down to what
The big one for a couple of years.
is hopefully going to finally close out the absolutely catastrophic production that the New Mutants has been. It has been delay
It's
after.
not their fault. It's Fox and
Just
whatnot.
Fox
well,
and
because
Disney.
it was in the middle of the merger. That's when they announced this
Yeah.
movie. Was in the middle of Disney buying 21st century
yeah.
or 20th Century Fox, which
Yeah.
was just terrible, and it just all got very bad. Anyways, the New Mutants movie is coming. It looks very promising. I actually like the trailer because
Yeah.
I think it's going to be true to what it is, which is kind of like the teenage thriller
It's
aspect of
it
things.
looks so scary.
It's the trailer is very like we are going to burn boomers, you know? So like that's it's very anti-boomer. It's all like it has that like rebellious
Yeah.
teenage kick to it. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Where they're all like,
You're gonna fuck some shit up.
we're tired of being told what to do and all this shit. And I mean, I respect it. I'm glad that's the direction it's going because
Yeah.
it's not trying to make it something it isn't. I know
I
that
wonder
it's-
if the Marvel Studios logo is going to come on
It won't.
It won't.
It just
Don't
say
think so?
Marvel. I've looked into
I
that
have a
myself.
little Marvel Studios.
I've looked at that myself. It's not gonna say that.
Okay,
it'll just say Marvel.
that's very interesting.
It's
I don't know,
very-
I'm so excited that Fox is a part of this, man, because you got X-Men and Fantastic Four.
It opens the door for so many different things.
And
It
I mean,
does.
like we were discussing about them before, and Matt and I have talked about this. John Krasinski and Emily Blunt would be perfect Mr. Fantastic and Invisible Woman.
If they mess up,
Give
on
me
that
Storm.
casting, man, that's gonna really kind of
That's
suck.
perfect.
Because we all know who should play it, and
Yeah.
if those two people don't play it, then it's gonna leave a bad taste in my
I
mouth.
just can't see Emily Blunt wanting to play a superhero.
Come on, man, she got to play with her husband.
I
Like,
couldn't, but I could see her in that role.
She just plays such serious stuff, though. You
she
know?
can have fun every once in a while, you know.
I know some actors could. But that's like saying, like, hey, you want to bring Leonardo DiCaprio into the MCU? Like,
Bro, he would be a cool Norman Osborn,
Yeah.
or Matthew McConaughey. Both.
huh?
They would both be cool Norman Osborns. Both of
I
them.
actually kind of like that.
either one will work.
I
for
really
me.
do. I really do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Huh.
I thought about that
Leo
a
would
lot.
literally never go near it in a million years, but it'd be
You
fun.
never
he
know.
wouldn't.
I mean, Christian Bale might be Beta Ray Bill.
Well, Christian Bale has
I hope.
superhero experience, though. He's been
That's true.
Batman.
He's literally
That's true.
he's Batman.
But
Yeah.
before he was a very serious actor.
He still is a
But
very
Batman
serious
was
actor.
a perfect
Yeah, Batman
role
was-
for that,
yeah.
I guess.
He's insane. He's like method acting to the max of
Oh,
max.
what I think I don't know the movie, but he basically lost over 80 pounds, and then he gained I think over 100 because he had to film for Batman in the span of like 8 months,
Yeah, he's a talented
something
dude.
like that.
Yeah.
I mean,
The amount of
there's
torture you're
committing
putting
to
your
a
body
role,
through,
and
bro.
then there's like like literally just you are the person,
Yeah.
which is incredible. That's the one. I'm pretty sure that's the one that he had. I think the movie he was playing, he had like leukemia, or he had.
Something like that.
It was like a degenerative disease, whatever it was, and he literally transitioned right out of that
Mhm.
and went into it. I mean, you have people like that, and you have people like God, who plays American Sniper? Bradley Cooper.
Bradley
Yeah.
Cooper.
He put on like 150 pounds of just pure muscle for that movie. He literally turned into a completely different person. So
Looked like a lumberjack.
acting's
Yeah.
crazy, man. The acting world is actually insane.
Yeah.
Like people put on a like not only a completely different face, but they are just
I
like
mean, Heath Ledger,
two different
greatest
people.
example.
Yeah, and a terribly sad example too. Obviously, there are risks to that. I would imagine that they're greater than we even know, but you obviously have the end of the spectrum where it turns out to be something totally that isn't.
Yeah.
I'm really excited for 2020 and all the movies that are essentially just queued up and ready to go.
Yeah.
But as much as I'd love to talk about movies for the next 1,500 years with you, man, we don't have you forever. Or we don't have you forever yet. We have you possibly reoccurring in the future. But I want to know what your thoughts on not only Mix and Match as a whole is after seeing some of the behind-the-scenes stuff
Uh-huh.
and seeing stuff that maybe not everybody else gets to see.
Yeah.
And then what do you think after this episode? Just entirely, like, what's your what has your experience been with joining us tonight?
Well, first off, this has been a really great experience. I know it's not much because you guys are not like a big podcast, like just like
Hey,
a
speak for
big,
yourself.
a
We
big
got millions
podcast,
of
but
fans.
I am a huge fan of y'all because I just know y'all personally, and I'm really glad you guys started this podcast, and I'm more grateful to the fact that you guys wanted me to be the first guest host, and I feel like I had to really live up to the hype a little bit, and for more guest hosts to be on and stuff like that. So I'm really glad. This has been a really great experience. Seeing everything behind the scenes is crazy because we obviously don't know what you guys go through.
Pretty big garage, isn't it?
It's a huge garage. It's like 3 doors in here. But you guys really take the time to get things right, and for the viewer, for the listener, and as a fan myself, I really do appreciate that. So, because we don't see that effort that you guys put out,
Yeah.
the good content that you guys put out for us. So, this is amazing. It's really, really cool.
What aspects of the podcast do you like the most?
Well, I mean, just based off what we talked about this whole time, I'm just really into pop culture stuff. Anything about the news and the pop culture, I really enjoyed anything like that. Movies, TV, a little bit of music. I really enjoy when you guys get personal sometimes. You guys tell your little stories about your life a little bit. It helps us get to know you more.
I like to get real, honestly.
Yeah, and I
enjoy those the most.
really do enjoy those. And but I mean, this is why it's called mix and match, because you guys can really do anything. You guys don't have to talk about one thing every single time. So you guys really just chose the perfect name for your brand. So, yeah.
That is very nice to hear, man. And we really appreciate the kind words.
Of course.
It's always great hearing an outside perspective of what it is that we do and how people view it, I guess, because, we can only get so much feedback from ourselves, essentially, which is like, how did you think this episode was? How did you think that is? Because honestly, we are critical as hell of everything that we do. If I'm being honest. We never come out of something with like, that was perfect. It's always.
I mean, I still hate the sound of my voice. Bro. I don't like hearing it.
You have a great voice for recording, and you have
really
people
do.
who told you this.
You really do have a great voice.
But it's just weird hearing myself. It's like that Adam Driver thing, alright?
I think everyone hates hearing their voice
because it sounds so different as to what you hear whenever you're speaking. But then when you hear on a recording, you're
literally
like,
had that
like
conversation before. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's very different. I will say that, and I feel like, I mean, one, I know that this is obviously your first time recording on a podcast and everything, but like. It's been a while for us since we started doing that, but I know it was very not only nerve-wracking, but it almost feels odd because we had conversations before this and like rolling into the episode where it wasn't as very like intense, but then you start this and it's like everything gets all official and it's a different sphere. So how was that transition from being, I guess casually talking to being?
I don't know, man, because it's like I don't know who's listening, and I don't know if people that know me that are listening. So it's like I want to make a good impression, but I guess once we get into the conversation, I kind of lose my train of thought of like I'm not just trying to make myself seem cool. Like I'm just
being yourself.
I'm flowing into this conversation with you guys, and then and I think that's the best part of it because
that's when it's the most authentic.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel that I feel at the more beginning half of it, we tried to embody something persona that we weren't unnaturally, I guess, trying a bit too hard. But then whenever we get down to it, and we're just literally just bullshitting like we are right now.
Literally sounds so cliche, but just being yourself is like the best thing you can do. I mean, honestly,
I wouldn't disagree at all, and especially when we're talking about because I mean, for those of you who have been around the entire time, and I'm sure you have noticed this.
Yes,
we had a period where we were talking essentially general news almost always. It was like,
we always hit like 3 to 4 hit points.
We were hitting 3 to 4 topics an episode. It was all current and updated news, which is fine, but it didn't feel like us. It didn't sound like us. We're
trying to catch our footing.
Y'all were still finding your footing, and I feel like y'all found it, but y'all are still learning things as you go. So
I mean, you're our first guest host, man. We're figuring out things as we go.
Yeah,
it's been a big step though, getting you on here and having someone who has been so integrated with our success so far, and has really seen just us grow. It's been very interesting, and I'm hoping that this was as enjoyable for you as it was for us.
Very, very enjoyable.
We do want to continue doing this. I know that you mentioned you want to come back. Is that still the case?
No, I definitely want to come back whenever you guys are just want me back.
Oh, you'll for sure be reoccurring, man. There's no doubt about that.
Okay. Well, Brayden, I'm gonna keep your seat warm. So shout out Brayden. But I would love to come back whenever you guys would like to have me.
Yeah.
So I'll be ready. I'll clear my schedule because I really like doing this. This is really cool.
Yeah, we love having you, man.
It's a lot of fun, and this is something that we're gonna try to do. We're gonna try to have a few guest hosts popping in and out, potentially a few interviews coming up. Just. It's going to be we're stepping into a new era of mix and match, you might say, which is just it's something that we haven't done yet. It's something that
once again we're mixing it up. So
mix and match. There's a sign behind me that's paper.
No, it is. Just thinking back to where we started and to where we're at right now, it's kind of crazy, man. Just because we were talking about just how we used to cover news and whatnot. So it's
Yeah.
just weird, just all the little transitions / phases we went through, and it's weird that we're at our first guest host, but it's nice.
Yeah, I mean it's very nice. Honestly, it feels a lot.
It's different.
It's a different vibe to the whole thing
You
because
get an avid listener's perspective.
Oh
on
yeah,
this.
for sure.
yeah, and like moving forward and it's a big step, you know.
Yeah.
And like I said, thank you so much for coming on, man. It's been huge, and I'm sure everybody out there has enjoyed the hell out of this episode.
I hope so.
And I mean, guys, here's the thing: is I wanted to touch base on this real quick too, because as you are one of our fans, one of our biggest fans and biggest listeners, you have a unique ability to tell us, you know, what you want us to talk about, and
Yeah.
you've reached out and you've suggested topics that we have actually spoken about
They
on
have.
air.
Yeah.
And that's something that I wanted to address everybody with real quick, because I know we've talked about this before, where we've said, guys, DM us. Well, DM us your topics. And, you know, we get DMs sometimes, and we do get requests to talk about certain things. And for the most part, we hit those. We do. We genuinely like try to integrate whatever that is that you request. That being said, there are a few things that we won't really get into, mainly because it's just not who we are. That's not the sound we chase. We are probably never going to talk about politics or any super huge societal
Anything
issue.
too controversial.
Not that we don't care about those things, but that's just, not only do we not really have any authority to speak on them, it's just not really the general vibe we want this podcast to carry. But
I don't like to get serious, if I'm being honest.
Huh?
I don't like to get serious,
Yeah.
if I'm being honest.
It's a serious world that we live in, and we just want to be something that y'all can put on in your headphones, kind of relax and have a good day listening to.
Yeah,
you know?
there's so much bullshit going around, man. Just we want this to be an escape for y'all.
Precisely, and it's an escape for us. I mean, hell, me and Muhammad and I know for a fact are going through some fairly stressful life decisions at the moment,
Very true.
and I forget about everything when I come in here. I don't know about you, or unless we're talking about it, obviously. But like, when it feels very, I don't know, second nature. You know, like you're in a different element, and we want that to be what it is for us, for you, and so we will. Just for a heads up, we don't intend on really talking about politics or anything extremely serious, but outside of that, please DM us every request you have. If you want us to see a movie that we haven't seen, or you want us to review that movie, send us a DM. If there's just a general topic that you want us to discuss, do it, guys. We seriously would love to hear everything that you have to say and everything that you want us to say. So please hit our DMs all the time.
Our Twitter's at Mix and Match Radio. I truly respond to everything. I see everything that everyone adds us in or whatnot, whoever DMs us. We have an Instagram at Mix and Match Podcast. We're wanting to bring that more to light, so please follow that. Just, guys, do not be afraid, or I don't think you'd be afraid to ask us, but just like don't be hesitant to ask us about any suggestions or whatnot. Even if they are about the controversial topics, still throw them our ways, because I mean, who knows? Maybe, possibly, if we're at the certain stature and we want to get serious here and then, we might. But still, any suggestion is welcomed.
Yeah, and I mean, without further ado, though, Matt,
Yeah.
it has been incredible,
Thank you.
genuinely, and
Great first time, man.
Thank you.
no, it really has. You've done a great job, like an actual fantastic.
You did
job.
better than both of us on our first podcast.
I would say that is thoroughly confident. And for those of you who listened to the first, very, very, very first episode, I think
We're
I can
sorry.
confidently say that you did better than the three of us did on that episode.
Oh yeah,
Because we
100%.
I mean, my favorite thing to make fun of Braden for is that first episode. There's like a 6-7 minute interval where he's just talking about trains.
Oh my
Like,
gosh.
that's it. And it's just
I think I remember that too.
we have a friend named Parker who literally will never leave him alone about that. He's like, anytime that he calls Braden about the podcast, he's like, Braden, no one wants to hear about your trains, okay? that's good. But
I
no,
didn't know that.
yeah,
It's funny.
It's funny. It was just the
I
trains.
might go back
That and his
to
creme
the archives.
that and his creme brulee that he loves talking about so much. But Braden, we love you. I know that you're going to be watching and listening to this
Hi,
from
Braden.
Florida. We have your replacement. I'm joking, but moving forward, guys. But like everything we just said, thank you very much for listening. Always like, subscribe, follow, share, send to your mom, aunt, uncle, dad, son, brother, father-in-law, parole officer, school teacher. Send it to all of them. Do everything that you can. Support, retweet, all that stuff. Mohammed, you got any closing thoughts?
Matt, thank you so much for being a phenomenal first guest, and hopefully you will be on this many more times to come.
Thank you for having me. And I just want to shout out everybody that I worked at the rec. Shout out to you guys. Miss you guys. That's all
look
I
at
really
him
have
now.
to say. Yeah, look at me now. Just I left y'all. And look where I'm at. I'm just kidding. Miss you guys.
Famous. That's where he's at now, is famous. All right, guys. Thank you for listening. This is the first of many, many more episodes to come. But without anything else left to say, we will see you next time on Mix and Match Radio.